Good morning, pre-calculus students. This is the first of your remote lessons, and today's lesson is really more of going over the homework handout that you have today for a review of complex numbers in both standard and their polar form. So if you could print out the handout, the handout that I've got on the website, that would be great. If you can't print it out, you're going to need to write down the problems on binder paper and then show all your work. This handout is your homework, so I would expect you before tomorrow. Oh, excuse me, because we meet on Mondays and then not until Wednesday. So by Wednesday, I expect to see this posted to Google Classroom. The way I'm doing this is you've got the handout. You should attempt to do the problem. So here are these first 4 problems. Attempt to do them and then come to the video and I will walk you through each one of the problems. And we'll do that kind of page by page. You'll see here that you could pause the video, do the problems, then turn the video back on just to check your work and to see if you were stuck what it is, okay? And don't forget to message me any questions you might have. So here we go. Pause, do the problems, and then turn the video back on. For problem number 1, we're trying to find the modulus, meaning the absolute value, also known as the r. So we do the square root of a squared plus b squared, which gives us 5. We do the same process for problem number 2, and we take the square root of the a squared plus b squared. And we end up with the square root of 30, and we don't need to write the decimal, just leave it in that format. For problem number 3, to find the absolute value, that is the modulus, which is the r, and it's already in the problem right there, the 3. So the answer is actually in polar form. You've got it, the absolute value. Same thing for number 4, and there's the answer. All right, pause the video, do these 2 problems. When you've done them, unpause the video. So in standard form, in a plus bi format here, well, the a is the horizontal and the b is the vertical, so I'm looking at the intersection of those 2 places, which is that point right there, and that is graphing 1 plus 3i. In polar form, well, we have the polar grid again, and we have a spoke and we have a radius. So we do the spoke, we do the radius, and we want to know where they intersect, and they intersect right there. So the answer is just the point. That other stuff I was just using it to highlight to show you where to go. All right, we have 8 problems here. Pause the video, do them, and then come on back. Problem number 7, we need to find our r, and we need to find our theta. So r is 4. To find theta, we could use arctan. But you have to recognize what quadrant this is in. Since it's negative and negative, that's quadrant 3. Another way that we showed it in class was we take the a and the b and we divide it by our r, and we end up getting a known coordinate, one of our famous 16. And you look at that and say, oh, I know what angle that is. That's 7 pi over 6. And I find that to be a little bit easier to do. So when I recognize that I've got a ratio of root 3 to 1, I can do that. We then have our polar form. We're going to do the same thing with the next problem. We're going to find the r. In this case, it says the square root of 28. Please make sure you simplify that to 2 root 7. Now I'm going to do the theta. And for finding theta, it's arctan. And I notice, again, this is in quadrant 1. So I'm straight up having memorized, and so I'm going to simplify that. And we get the arctan, of 1 over square root of 3. And I'd like you to try your best to be memorizing those. You should have them memorized. And so we have that theta is pi over 6. Once again, we write down our polar form of our complex number. In number 9, our a and our b are exactly the same. We square them and add them. We get 25. Taking the square root, we get that r is 5. Theta, it's in quadrant 3, and it's 1, so it's one of our pi over 4s, and in quadrant 3, it would be 5 pi over 4. So there we have our angle, and so we write our complex number out in polar form. For number 10, the easiest beginning of this is to graph it. Whenever there's just one, either just the a or just the b, graph it and look to see what's going on. The r is the distance from the origin, so your r is 2, and it's straight up, so it's the theta of pi over 2. Writing out our complex number, we have that in polar form. In the next couple problems, we're taking it from polar form and we're going to put it in standard form, or they refer to it up here as rectangular form. We call it in our class standard form, the a plus bi format. To do that, we actually just compute the sine and the cosine and the sine, and then we distribute our r. So we have the square root of 6 times that. Distributing it, we end up with just square root of 6i. We do the same thing for the next problem. Find your cosine and sine, distribute, and simplify. Now, I don't have it boxed yet because this is not the best format to write a complex number, square root of 3 and then the I. We just, in convention form, we write the I in front of a square root. So this is the best format to write your final answer in. Again, we do our sine and cosine, we distribute, and simplify. Do our sine and cosine, distribute, and simplify. Next 6 problems, try them, and pause the video. Here we are doing multiplication in standard form, multiplication in polar form. We're doing division in standard form, division in polar form, and then we're going to do some powers, both in standard and polar format. You could distribute in this fashion. That's sometimes referred to as FOIL, when you're going to take the 4 and distribute it to the binomial. Then you're going to take the 4i, distribute it to the binomial. I prefer to stack to do my multiplication, and I go straight down for real and x for complex, and there we've got the answer. In polar form, it is so nice because we just multiply our hours and we add our angles. And in the end, we end with this. Division in standard form. Division in standard form requires us to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. And the reason is because when you multiply conjugates of complex, you always get the sum of 2 squares. You get a squared plus b squared. So our denominator is just 2 squared plus 4 squared, which is 20. Our numerator, well, we've got to do that multiplication in standard form, and I do my stacking and I get 4 minus 28i, so I've got that. Remember, we are going to simplify this, so each one of these, the 4 is being divided by 20, and the 28 is being divided by 20. It's actually negative 28 is being divided by 20, and we need to simplify and write it in a plus bi, not some fraction. It needs to be in 2 separate terms, so you end up with 1/5 minus 7/5 I. For division in polar form, we divide our r's and we subtract our angles. So I divided my r, and we have our final answer. For powers, well, when it's in standard form, we just got to multiply it all out. And so I multiplied 2 of them together, simplify that, then I multiply it by the next one, simplify that, and eventually we get the answer. So it's just a lot of just repeated multiplication. It's so much faster, thank you to Demoivre. We distribute our power to the r, and we multiply our angle times that numeric of the power. And when we do that and simplify, we have our final answer. I'm sorry, that went by really quick. It's there. All right, our last 4 problems. Last 4 problems we're going to do together. In this one, it's almost identical to what we just did, except that instead of powers, we're thinking of this as roots, but roots are powers. They're just fraction powers. So this one is asking for the third roots of 2i. Remember, there are as many roots as the degree of the root. So since this is the third root, we have 3 roots. First step is it needs to be in polar form. Second step is we raise it to that power of 1/3. Next, we use Demoivre's to come up with our first of the 3 roots. The other roots are found by adding 2 pi divided by the n. In this case, 2 pi divided by 3. And so I'm going to add 2 pi divided by 3 to each one of these angles. I changed it to sixths because the angles are already in sixths. It makes it easier to do. And so my second of the 3 roots is right there. And my third of the 3 roots, I add another 2 pi over 3, or which is the same thing as 4 pi over 6, and I add that and I have my third roots. For the next problem, I want the fourth roots, which is the 1/4 power. I'm going to distribute that to my r and to the angle to come up with my first root. And my first root is the fourth root of 6 times cosine of 3 pi over 16 plus I sine 3 pi over 16. I'm going to be adding to the angles to find the other 3 roots, so the total of 4 of them. I'm going to be adding 2 pi over 4, but because my theta is in 16ths, I'm going to change that 2 pi over 4 into 8 pi over 16 and add that. So I do that to find the second root, to find the third root, and to find the fourth root. This problem here, we want to show that this is the 23rd root. Well, if I wanted to know, why is 5 the square root of 25? Because when you square 5, you get 25. It's the same idea here. If this is the 23rd root, then raising it to the 23rd power should give us this response of n times I. So I'm going to use properties of exponents and distribute that exponent. This takes a little bit of a reminder of I to the different powers. This is the same thing as saying -1 times I. -1 to the 23rd power is still negative. I to the 23rd power is the same thing as I to the third power, which is -I. So you're going to have a negative I, which is positive I. And any root raised to the identical power, the same index, just gives the radicand. So I've got I times n, which can be written as ni, and then we've proved it. For this next problem to solve, we write out the equation, we divide by the coefficient, we end up with a complex division problem, so we multiply by conjugates. We have to do a little bit of multiplication work there. We simplify this to 4 plus 3i over 5. This is not the answer because it needs to be in a plus bi format. So we write that as 4 over 5 plus 3 over 5i. Now that's the end of your first remote lesson, and it's not as much a lesson as it was doing the homework together. I know this video was a little bit longer. It's about a 13-minute video. The next couple days you're going to be using different videos. Some of them will be from Khan Academy. Some will be videos that I write. Please look at the website on a daily basis and pay attention to your remind messages. I'm available for messaging and texting during our normal school hours that we would normally meet. I will always be available for you. I also will have, and only for pre-calculus students during those periods. In the afternoon, I will have open office hours for anybody for a couple hours. Have fun. Use this time wisely. And also don't forget, if you've got any late work, use this time to make up some of your late work, okay? I wish you all well, and I will see you by video or by texting later.